someone who says they are on a strict keto diet and do not do carbs or sugars. So how does this help?
Well, first of all, it's impossible not to do carbs, no carbs and no sugars. Sugars are carbs, so it's impossible to do no carbs. You would just die. But there are very low carb diets, keto diets. I'm a very strong proponent of a low carb or a keto diet. I don't think it's for everybody. Some people, it hurts their kidneys because the protein is so concentrated in the diet. Their kidneys have issue with the water balance. So I can't say this is great for everyone, but I do promote it. I like a low carb diet. And if you do have Emulin in there, it's essential. You need it for both of them. And there's always some carbs. You know, there's carb inside blood. So there's always a little bit of carb.
Okay. Question here is M and C the same Emulin? I am taking C.
M and C are Emulin, but the ratios of the three ingredients in there are a little different. There's not that much difference. However, there's enough of a difference for people that have high blood sugar, that are concerned about high blood sugar. They should use the C.
Correct.
For control of blood sugar. For everyone else, they ought to use M for maintenance. I hope that's not too confusing. The reason is that M, you'll actually lose a little more weight with M because it causes your fat to leak out fatty acids and sugars, and the sugars go into your bloodstream, and then your blood sugar elevates. So if you're already trying to lower your blood sugar, you don't want something that causes your blood sugar to go up, even though it's just briefly. So we split it into two. For everybody, almost everybody, use M. That's the one I use when I get it. For people that are concerned with high blood sugar, they're pre-diabetic or they're diabetic, take the C.
Excellent. Thank you. So we have a question. Are both 24/7 and Emulin gluten-free?
Yes, they're both gluten-free. The capsules, I want to also say, there's no wheat product at all in these products. But also people ask me, what about vegan? Yeah, the capsule itself, the gelatin, is plant gelatin. So they're totally vegan. And we actually have registration for the product for halal as well as kosher, but that will eventually get onto the label. So I think this meets everybody's standards. So yeah, it's gluten-free, it's vegan, halal, kosher.
Thank you. Here's a question. It is more related to an issue, but will Emulin rebuild gum tissue?
I'm laughing because I just last week had a mother tell me, she swears this, that her 5-year-old kid's cavities are disappearing. And I got to looking at it and I said, it is possible. I've never done that study, but it is possible. Yes, but certainly gum tissue, it will absolutely help do that. And it will also rebuild cartilage in your joints. Remember, it's not the Emulin that is doing that. It is that your body is being put back to its healthy state and your body is repairing those gums. And it's also remarkable, it does look like caries are shrinking. They're actually rebuilding and replacing calcium.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. I have heard that often from people that have gone to the dentist after being on Emulin for several months. They go back for their 6-month cleaning, and if they've had receding gums, the tissue is rebuilding. So I've even had that myself. So that's great. Awesome. Typically, how long would a person be on a saturated dose? I've heard from 6 to 8 capsules for a saturated dose. Is that accurate?
I think it depends on the problem you're trying to overcome. You know, you can't expect a miracle overnight, and it might take 3 months, 4 months. If you've just pulled your muscle, a sprain or a broken bone, then we're talking about a month or something. So look at a cold. If you think a cold's coming on, double up your dose on a cold and then go for that for a week. So it depends on what's wrong with you. And some people need a high dose forever. I know some people with severely torqued backs that have to be on a high dose for a long time. So I wish they didn't have to do that. But everybody needs the 2. So it's hard to say what a saturated dose is. Everybody in their diet, if they ate right now, tonight dinner, should have Emulin in there. Unfortunately, you can't get it. So 2 is what replaces your normal diet. And I guess anything above that could be considered saturated. Maybe doubling it or tripling it would be saturated. So if it's something minor like a cold, just a couple of days or a week. If you have a twisted back, a sprained ankle, you should stay on it a couple of weeks. If it's a broken bone, you need to stay on it for 2 months. It depends on the actual issue. Just think about how severe is the issue with you, how long you've previously had it, then you need to think about months. If it's something quick and short, like a sprain, then you need to think in just weeks.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So we've had a couple of questions about animals and Emulin, and we know that all mammals can take Emulin. Could you suggest what the dosage would be, Dr. Ahrens?
Yes, I want to also remind people that don't worry, all of this stuff is we get it out of grapes. There's really no grape component inside the Emulin. We're just extracting out something called myricetin from those grapes. We're not extracting anything in there that could harm a dog. It's just like getting vitamin C out of an orange. It's not really an orange in the vitamin C, it's just a component. We have to, by law, say where we got it from. So we say grape extract, onion peel extract. We really are just getting the myricetin, and that's really what's doing the major bang here, myricetin, and that does not harm a dog. Okay, for even children or dogs and cats and parakeets or pet snake or your own pet, Jimmy the Cricket, just go about on your own weight. You know, we made that stuff for a couple of capsules for a 200-pound person, 1 capsule for 100 pounds. And then just start, okay, this dog is a 50-pound dog. Well, then give them a half of a capsule. How do you do that? Well, for a dog, you can just break the capsule open and sprinkle it right into their dog food, half of one. And if you happen to get the whole thing in there, it's not going to have any trouble. They're not, you cannot overdose on this. It's just eliminate it through the urine or the skin. And it does remarkably good things for your skin. So try to just go by that weight. Now, if you have a small child or even a small dog, and especially for that Jimmy the Cricket guy, so take the whole capsule and put it into like a juice or something. Use a real juice, but you could put it in milk. You could put it into Jello and use it. If you don't like Jello, find any other food stuff like that. A good red grape juice as an example. And then you could dish it out that way. So say you have a child that's 25, 30 pounds, put a capsule in a cup of grape juice and have them drink half a cup a day. That's how they'd get that dose.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I just want to address one last question that seems rather urgent here, and it's about Emulin during pregnancy.
Well, I absolutely would take during pregnancy. I would even take it pre-pregnancy because, you know, it really also does help the follicles, egg development. From tomb to womb to tomb. I don't know a point of where you would never want it. I'd like to be in nursing mothers, so that it's an essential vitamin-like compound, so everyone needs it. I'd give it to a baby as soon as they could take solid food, and I do with my own grandchildren, and someone who is pregnant, no problem whatsoever. This is something that's essential food. If this was the food source was how it should be, and it was like a couple 500 years ago, you'd be taking the Emulin and we wouldn't be selling it, because it would be in your natural food supply. So just think of that. This is not something artificial. It's what you should have anyhow. You just can't get it now because of processed foods and the way the foods have been bred. There's not enough in there anymore. But 500 years ago, there'd be no reason to have this product. You'd already be in your diet.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Dr. Ahrens. Have a great evening. We're thrilled that we're able to work with products of this caliber and this effective for all of humanity, and we're excited about the future. So have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.